Okay, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Hey, guys, it is Old Man G here back again with another post-match reaction. And as it says, Varchester United strikes again. Everton versus United, 1-1. It ends 1-1. And what a dramatic climax to the game. We'll go through, we'll actually do player ratings on the show, actually. But before I go into my thoughts about the game, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, United X. Smash that notification button for latest United news. And follow us on Twitch as well, also on Twitch. So I'm not quite sure what to think about this game, if I'm perfectly honest, because for a lot of the game, I feel like Manchester United, I feel like we deserve to actually... I don't think that United deserve to lose the game. I think for a lot of the game, United... we really we controlled it, and I think Everton were just basically just waiting for Manchester United to do something. They're waiting for us to slip up. They're waiting for us for something, and they try to take their chances. As far as the goals go, and I said we'll come to the play rates in a second, but I don't know what David De Gea was doing. I really don't. I think that in the first 2 minutes, that mistake, it's passed back by, I think, Lindelof it is. David De Gea, he's got time. He's got plenty of time. And for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, he ends up basically like kicking it straight in front of Calvert-Lewin. I really don't understand why that happens, why he did that. But he did it, and we'll go down the first 2 minutes, and you've got a mountain to climb, and David De Gea looking absolutely petrified. It was just, I've said several times before about how I felt that David De Gea had, last couple of weeks, his confidence been coming back up, he's been improving, etc. But this wasn't acceptable. This just was not acceptable at all. David De Gea, with that time, if he didn't have the time, with that time that he had to get rid of it, to kill it anywhere, whether that's a throw-in, you're told as a goalkeeper, if in doubt, kick it out. You don't kick it right at a player running at you. Kick it to give a corner away, give a throw-in away, something. Do something like that. Don't kick it straight at Richarlison. So for me, David De Gea, and that would be reflect on the player ratings. David De Gea, really, I just think he messed up there. He messed up. However, United kicked on from there. They obviously kept on going on. After that game, to be honest, Everton had maybe one or two clear-cut chances straight after that goal with Calvert-Lewin through. But after that initial, I think, 10-minute spell, Don Ancelotti, indeed. Thanks for coming in, man. After that spell, I think United actually started to control the game a bit more. I think they did. In that midfield in particular, Matich had a very good game. Shout out to him. He helped United defensively. He tested Pickford a few times and really drove the team forward. I think he had the second most touches, second to Bruno Fernandez. But it's all about Bruno Fernandez, man. And obviously Pickford makes them. He's a poor clearance initially, and then Pickford comes out and then scores. Bruno Fernandez intercepts it. Sorry. And scores a really good goal. And we're back in. It's 1-1, and you're thinking, right, the worst thing that Everton can do is concede a goal at halftime, before halftime, and will United crack on? And to be fair, United did. We had most of the ball in the second half, possession-wise, and we had most of the clear-cut chances, but we just weren't able to break down as Everton side. It looked to me that Carlo Ancelotti had set Everton up to counter-attack. And certainly in the second half, he wants to control the game, because come the 80th, 78th something minute, especially as soon as Martial and McTominay came off, Everton seemed to go into their groove. They kept on getting corner after corner after corner. And in the last spell of the game, last 5 minutes of the game, we should have scored. Bruno Fernandez shot on target, and Igalo really needs to put that away to give him legendary status. He needs to put that goal away. He doesn't. Everton go the other side of the field and feel they score, but unfortunately, because Sigurdsson is an offside, or it seems that he's interfering with play, the goal isn't given. Much to the relief of Manchester United, and that's the frustration of Carlo Ancelotti, who basically got a red card at the end. Thanks to Joe Abraham, we made Baines look world-class low, plus the ref was shocking. The ref was shocking. To be honest, for me, a draw is a fair result. I feel a draw is considering how both teams played, I think a draw is a fair result. I don't think United had as many clear-cut chances I would have liked to kill off the game. Gaming Morbid, hey, shout out to you, man. But what I would say, I guess, though, is the fact that if you took Bruno Fernandez out of this team, would have lost that game. It's as simple as that. And bearing in mind that last time we went to Goodison last season, we got battered 4-0, and that was a team that had Pogba inside. You know, I think that this is a marked improvement to what we got now. Don Magnus says, in the second half, Don Ancelotti asked the striker to drop back to fill space that Fred was finding, which allowed wide players to push forward. Ollie had no sense other than hope Bruno does something. That is a fair point. That is a fair point, actually. I still think that even in that second half, although we struggled to create things, I don't think Everton really caused United many problems for most of the second half. You know, I can only remember one or two speculative efforts. I feel that Everton only were dangerous in the last probably 10 to 15 minutes of the game, as soon as Martial and McTominay came off, and we just kept on giving them corner after corner after corner. But really, their only clear chance was the save that De Gea made to give them the initial corner, and then obviously the goal that they sort of scored. Outside those two chances, Everton really didn't have that much, in my opinion. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I'm disappointed, but I'm relieved at the same time, because we really could have closed the gap on Chelsea here. And having looked at results, and I'll show you the table in a second. Actually, in fact, I'll do that now. Actually, let's get the I'll get the table up. But Wolves obviously beat. Wolves were behind. Actually, Wolves were 2-0, 1-1. Then they were 2-1 behind, and Wolves came back to beat Spurs 3-2. So Wolves are actually now level on points with Manchester United, which is so you know they're in it. Spurs look like they're, to be honest, they don't really know what they're doing, and I won't be surprised if Mourinho gets his marching orders fairly soon, much like Carlo Ancelotti got his marching orders to the dressing room. But top four is looking tight, and we are still 3 points away from Chelsea. So we will see what happens with that. I'm going to just quickly get the table up so I can show you. But actually, you know what? I'm going to go straight into the player ratings. Actually, I think that's what I'll end up doing. Here's the table. I've got the table up here because I think it's always a good shout to show. Right, let's get the table up here. Right, so just so everyone can see, this is obviously can everyone see that? No, people can't see it. Oh well, okay, fine. Ignore me. Anyway, the reality is that Chelsea have got 45 points in fourth. Manchester United have got are fifth with 42 points, so 3 points behind Chelsea. Bearing in mind that Manchester United's goal difference, and one of the positive things about Manchester United so far is that Manchester United's goal difference is probably the best out of all the teams around them. So that might potentially be a point come the end of the season. So that's very, very important. Wolves behind them on 42 points. Tottenham on 40 points. Sheffield United on 40 points, although they've obviously got a game in hand. And Burnley 9th on 38 points, with Arsenal 10th on 37. So that's where we are. Don Ragnar says Spurs should have kept Poch. They weren't that bad during their bad form. They weren't. Mourinho's actually been worse. But I guess the only argument you could say Mourinho is that he's Son and Kane basically make that team, and obviously he doesn't have those players anymore. So let me quickly go to the player ratings now, or may I say player discussions, and we're going to quickly start with this guy, David De Gea. David De Gea gets. I'm going to give David De Gea a 4.5. No, I'll give him a 5. I'm going to give David De Gea a 5, and I'm going to give him a 5 because a 4.5. No, okay, I'm going to give David De Gea a 4.5 because that goal shouldn't have happened. It put unnecessary pressure for the rest of the team. We completely were completely all over the place because we didn't expect to concede that early. I think we had a game plan, and I think De Gea conceding that goal within the first. And this is the thing: we drew against Everton at Old Trafford, and De Gea was fouled. Everton's goals that they've got against us have been, jammy goals, frankly. And in this one, this was a handover. This is a handover. Joe Abraham says OGS brings Mata on to counter-attack. To be fair, Mata did put a good ball to Fernandez to obviously to Garlo, who should have scored. And Fernandez is going crazy. Fernandez is well, we'll get to Fernandez in a second, but as far as David De Gea is concerned, for me, that just mistake, it shouldn't have happened. It just should not have happened. It really, really, really should not have happened. And the way I sort of see it is that he gets a 4.5. I mean, the only reason why it doesn't get any lower is because he made a fantastic save to deny Everton at the end. And you could, so which gives him a few plus points, but you could argue, frankly, that that it's quite possible that he should have got that goal, that deflection of Harry Maguire to go into his own net. He should have been there. So David De Gea, for me, I don't think this was his best game at all. And he put unnecessary pressure on this team. And he's got to reflect on it. He's got to reflect on it. He's got to reflect on it. So yeah, David De Gea 4.5. In my opinion. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching, please like the vid, and share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's have a look. So next up, this guy, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw had a good. Did Luke Shaw have a good game? Yeah. I'm going to give Luke Shaw probably I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6, a 6.5. I'm going to give Shaw a 6.5 because I did think that Luke Shaw for long spells in that game actually did well. He did drive forward. He did cross the box. You saw his passion in particular when he crossed paths with Calvert-Lewin. But I think that Luke Shaw actually had a solid game. It's difficult for me to give a lot of players high marks in this game, bar 1 and 2. But I feel for me he had a solid performance. Could have been better, but he had a solid performance. And let me know what you guys think about Luke Shaw, whether you thought he had a solid performance or not. Don Wagner says Jerry Maguire's back heel 90 minutes was class. It was world class, bar the fact that it went in to our net, which was fairly. I won't say fairly, very, very frustrating. Moving on to our players. Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, I'll give a 5.5. Bear in mind 6 is average. I think again, Harry Maguire, he's got to thank God that that goal was offside because he should have been switched on to that. He did obviously to be fair to him, he did clear a lot of our balls from the corners, heading them away, which is very, very good because we did look vulnerable with those. So fair play to him for that. Raymond Moore says, shout out to Raymond Moore, man. De Gea is far too great to be making these stupid mistakes. Yeah, like I said before, it wasn't acceptable, to be honest. He needs to do better than that. I'm sorry. People were cussing Romero for the mistake he made in the Europa League, when you could argue that wasn't really fully his fault because he was under pressure. Even though he was out, he tried to do something. De Gea was under no pressure, and this is what happened. But anyway, on to Harry Maguire. I give him a 5.5. He had a decent game, but like I've been saying all this time, I don't know why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer persists playing Maguire and Lindelof together. I just think just doesn't work. They're just the amount of times that Lewin and Richarlison with pace got at these two was unreal, and it caused us problems. And we need a quick centre back, and Lindelof and Maguire aren't. So for me, Lindelof gets a 5.5. That's not to slight on Maguire's story, but that for me is what he gets. And let me know if you agree in a description below. Next up is Lindelof. He was getting destroyed by I think it was either Carvalho or Richarlison, but he was getting destroyed by them. He was really, really struggling on that side. He did need some help, and he wasn't getting it. At times, some Wan-Bissaka was getting help, but really, he needed help. He needed help, Lindelof. And I don't know. I really don't know. I still think that Eric Bailly comes into this team. I think Solskjaer has taken a very big risk by playing Lindelof Maguire together, because I just don't see the centre-back partnership working. I'll probably give Lindelof a 5. I don't think he was as good as Maguire, because Maguire at least was able to clear danger from the box, and he made some good passes. This was definitely not Lindelof's worst game, but I did think he struggled today. So in my opinion, at least the way that I see it, I give Lindelof a 5. That's what I give him. Moving on forward, Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, 6, same as Shaw. I think 6. I think is nothing really got past him. Although I did feel that he probably could have helped Lindelof a bit more on that side. His again at times when he had the ball crossing the box, his final delivery wasn't that great, and it could have been better. But ultimately defensively he was still solid, and Everton ended up going on the left-hand side more so than the right-hand side, certainly in the second half. So a solid average 6 for me for Wan-Bissaka. Not his best game by a long shot, but not his worst game either. Raymond Moore, Maguire was looking like he was worth 80 million today. It's difficult because yes and no. I don't know. He definitely he was a good defender. He was a good defender. I just feel that. Yeah, I just feel that himself and Lindelof together just doesn't seem to be working, and I feel that maybe the fact that he's playing Lindelof where I feel that Maguire isn't as good with him, and it makes Maguire look bad. I don't know. Don Wagner says Ollie's favorite training sessions are the passionomics drills, consisting of shouting at walls while chest bumping, making angry faces, and bench pointing with Ollie operating the crowd. Not a simulator. I mean. I don't know what you think about. I don't know what you think of Ollie's tactics. I thought it was interesting. I did think you've got to hand it to it that we did play a lot better than we did against Goodison, and I did think that unlike last season where we got swamped in the midfield and we just got battered by Everton, this clearly he's learned. So that's important, but. For some time, we just didn't have many answers. Anyway, Wan-Bissaka for me is a solid 6, along with Luke Shaw. Now, coming on to this guy, Nemanja Matich, man. For me, Nemanja Matich, it's a tie between Matich and Fernandez for who is man of the match this game, because Nemanja Matich had a good game. He had a very, very good game. And that's why when Paul Pogba comes back, I don't think you can drop Matic. For me, you've got to play. We go back to 4-3-3 with Matic being the holding midfielder, and you play either Fredo Fernandez or or maybe you get the diamond that we're doing. You play like we're doing. You play Matich, and then maybe that's why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer play the diamond to make way for Pogba, so that you play Matich and then you play Pogba and Fred, and then you play Bruno Fernandez ahead of them, because Bruno Fernandez did seem to get a lot of space, which will help. I think the way that we played would certainly give City problems, but Matic had a very, very good game. For me, I would say Matic gets a 7.5. I don't want to really give anyone an 8, but for me, Matic gets a solid 7.5, because defensively he was sound. He was pushing the ball forward. He had quite a few good opportunities in the first set and 1 or 2 in the second, where he was causing Everton a lot of problems. And for goodness knows how old he is, he certainly has been one of our better players, more so than like Pereira and Lingard. So fair play to Matic. I give Matic a 7.5. McTominay, if I'm honest, I didn't really notice McTominay. You know, maybe you guys did. Let me know in the comments. But for most of that time, I really didn't notice Scott McTominay at all. I just didn't. And so when he came off, you know, it was like, oh, okay, Scott McTominay's come off. I know, don't get me wrong, he's obviously coming back from injury, and he's trying to find his way. So I don't think that you can say, oh my goodness, this is this is a terrible performance. But I just think that it felt like for large periods of the game that McTominay was not noticeable. But let me know what you think. Don Wagner, take the words of mine. McTominay, good squad player, but no impact on the game. Say exactly. For me, against other teams, to me, we go back to either our 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-3, whatever that is, 4-3-3. Sorry, McTominay stays on the bench, and then you have to decide whether Pogba basically comes into this team or whether you stick with Matic, Fred. But if we're going to keep this diamond formation that we played today, then I would say Pogba comes in McTominay, in my opinion. Troops, Arsenal Fan TV. Ha ha ha, what a nice weekend. Invincible trophy still intact and United slipping up. I assume you're not the real Troops, but if you are, shout out, I guess. I'm not sure. No, I mean, I don't know how Arsenal fans can celebrate. I mean, at the end of the day, Arsenal are not in the top 4 race. And they got bantered by Olympiacos. So it's like, if I was an Arsenal fan right now, I would just basically be humble and just quiet and just see what happens, because you're not winning the Europa League, so you're not in it, and you're not getting top 4 either. So essentially, you're going to be in. Well, you might not even be in the Europa League with the way things are going. So you'll probably just be domestic football next season. With continual rebuild. So we will see what happens. But don't banner us, guys. We're only 3 points from top 4, and we're still in the Europa League. See what happens. I'll be watching, guys. Please like the vid, share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio to get that like count up. Like the vid if you can. It doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, McTominay for me, I would give McTominay a. What would I give McTominay? I would give McTominay a 5.5. I think I'll give McTominay a 5.5, because generally I just didn't see, good player, but I just didn't see his impact. Troops, Arsenal Fan TV again. If you played Olympiacos, you would have got knocked out as well. They are a good team and better than Bruges. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, Club Bruges went to the Bernabeu and drew Real Madrid, so they weren't that bad, considering they got a point away at Real Madrid. Olympiacos got spanked by, was it, I don't know, PSG was in their group? I can't remember. I don't know. All I'm saying is that, like, you can't really banter anyone right now, Arsenal fans. Let's be real. Let's be real, Troops, Arsenal on TV. You're not in a position to banter anyone with where Arsenal are. But thanks for stopping by anyway. Don Magler is actually Troops in the house. I doubt it. I doubt it. It's probably some YouTube. I think it's just Troops onto it, but I highly doubt it, because there'd be a lot more bloods and fams in the comments if it was actually him. But if it is him, or if you know, it's like, just shout out to him anyway. Shout out to him. So moving on player-wise, sorry, because we've been on Luke Shaw for with Tommy for quite a bit. Fred for me, he had an okay game. He did have an okay game. He could have been better, I think. I could probably give Fred. He did try to make a lot of things happen. He'd lose the ball a few times, but you can still see Fred's tenacity, because especially coming back and giving us chance, giving us opportunities. Fred definitely knew what he was doing. So I don't think he was as good as Matich today, but I'll give Fred a solid 7. Actually, I will give Fred a solid 7. I think that while this wasn't his best game, and this might mean he might slip in the rankings. Fred overall has shown why he's been one of Manchester United's better midfielders. And certainly in the first half, with him, Bruno Fernandez, and Matich seem to be on the same wavelength. We really should have killed this Everton team off. So yeah, I probably give Fred a solid 7. More comments. Man, this guy. Bruv, you're going to get slammed by City. Well, we'll see. We've already beaten City this season. So we will see. You know, we've beaten City this season. We beat them in the league. We beat them at the Etihad. So they beat us in the Carabao Cup. We beat them in the league. So yeah, we might not, but we've already beaten City. You haven't. So we'll see. And that team that beat City was a weaker team than the team we have now. You know, because Pogba will be back. We've got Bruno Fernandez. So we'll see. Is my point. We'll see. Moving on to additional players. Bruno Fernandez, man. Bruno Fernandez. I shouted. You can check my I did a live watch along, Manchester United versus Everton live watch along. Where I was watching this game. Thanks to everyone who listened in and tuned in. I appreciate it. But my goodness, guys, that was such a Troops. This guy's a troll. I'm going to stop reading out your comments because Pogba dead, Bruno's crap. Well, you know, I understand that the Invincibles is the only trophy that you guys have, but fair enough. And shout out to the Malaysian guys in the chat as well. So this guy Bruno Fernandez really has transformed Manchester United. He really has transformed Manchester United as a football club. And it's given the Manchester United fans a lot to really ponder and think about. That goal that he took, even though, yes, it was a mistake, you could argue from Pickford, but the fact is, that's what a captain does. He drives him back in. Fair play to Harry Maguire, though, putting Fred away, because, you know, potentially he could have got himself sent off. But it wasn't a handball. The ref was trash. Anyway, Bruno Fernandez, man, he's what we needed. He's what we need. And I'll say this again so many times, because he had a very good game. Yes, he made a couple of speculative efforts. Yes, okay, sometimes he lost the ball. But my goodness, my days, Bruno Fernandez, we played better with him, you know, and I'm interested to see what he will do against Manchester City, because I think he'll cause like Otamendi problems. For me, Bruno Fernandez, I would give an 8. I think I'll just about give Bruno Fernandez the man of the match, because he did score the goal. He did keep us going forward. It does seem that his preferred position is this number 10 free roll type of sort of position. You know, maybe number 8 coming in deep, also coming forward, but with a bit more composure, because at times he was getting a bit greedy. I feel like he could have made a few more interesting passes. But for me, Bruno Fernandez is my man of the match. Let me know what you think in the comments, who your man of the match is, because to me, it's Bruno Fernandez. Watch when Bruno gets injured, you'll be back to bang average. Well, Pog will be coming back fairly soon. So, you know, we'll see. Don't be bitter, you know. You're I think 10th and we're 5th, you know, so it just is what it is, troops. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. The positive thing that you guys have is that you have your Invincible trophy. You know, you have it's a mythical trophy, but it's a trophy nonetheless. And that was won almost 20 years ago. So fair play to you guys. Fair play. Moving on. Mason Greenwood. I'll give Mason Greenwood a 5, really. I don't think Greenwood is ever really in that game. Him and McTominay, I felt, were never really in the game at all. I know Agallo did come on, but I would have liked to have probably seen Agallo start. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I thought the thing with me with Agallo is that Agallo, yes, he should have scored. He should have scored. But he gets him. He's in the box. He gets himself into positions to do that. I don't think Greenwood got himself into enough positions in this game today. I really, really don't. So, yeah, not one of his better games again as well. You know, maybe he needs to just sort of take some time out, take a break and run his form, or certainly in the Europa League. But, you know, I'm not saying that it's Greenwood's fault. And obviously we keep on switching different formations, but I think we need to figure out what Greenwood's role actually is. Is he going to be a right winger? Is he going to be playing along with a striker? Is he a lone striker? What does Greenwood actually do? Because right now it looks like he's been doing multiple things, and it's not really working. You know, so we'll see what happens. Like the vid. For those who are tuning in, please like the vid and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Last but not least, have I got everyone? Yes. Anthony Martial. Yeah, I've got everybody. Anthony Martial, I'll give a 6.5. Yes, I'll give a 6.5 to Anthony Martial. Again, had a solid performance. Was driving at people, was trying to make things happen. But I just felt that with Anthony Martial, that it just wasn't coming off for him today. He was creating things and he was causing problems. And Troops, just looking at some of your comments, sorry, I'll read this Troops guy because I could take it. If he wanted to win, you should have put Martial left and Agallo central, Greenwood right, and Bruno slight forward, and Tom making 4-3. I actually agree with you, Troops. I do. But it looks like I don't know whether he made this formation because he felt that in the last game, because we played 4-3-3 against Everton last season, we got spanked, and that was with Pogba. So whether he felt that we needed more midfielders to deal with Everton, I don't know. But it did kind of work, so I don't know. But I would like to see us play 4-3-3. Why I like to see us play 4-3? I don't mind going away to Everton or City and playing, you know, this formation or even 3-5-2. What I want us to do is when we play against teams like Burnley and teams like Norwich, that we play 4-3-3 and go at them. Don Ragnar G, isn't the run with Bruno, the new player of the Politic team player, akin to Pogba's top form when he first took over and went on the run? Seems reminiscent. Cautious, Ollie has no tactics. Well, to be fair, Pogba played quite well when Mourinho was obviously he started off from Mourinho obviously for a while, and then obviously they fell out, and then obviously you know what happened there, and then obviously Pogba came in. I think for me it was where Pogba was being played. The difference between this season now is that for some reason at the start of the season Pogba was played as a holding midfielder alongside was it McTominay I think at the time. And Lingard or Pereira was on top of him because Pogba was the only one that could really carry the ball from the midfield. Now that Matich is in the team, Matich is there to just be the holding midfielder, and you've got Fred. So I think that if Pogba does come back, Pogba will not be playing necessarily the same role he played at the beginning of the season. Is my point. Bruno Fernandez for me is a different player. I think Bruno Fernandez is more of a number 10, number 8 type of player. Whereas Pogba, I guess you could say, is maybe more box to box. We'll see. They could probably be the same. I guess it just depends on how they're used, really. Beef Bully says we should rotate next match. Romero in goal, then play a few youngsters. Easy Chong, Dallo, then start Gola up front with regard. Then midfield prayer comes. If that's against Derby, which is I think our next match, I think that's fair enough. If that's against City, then that's suicide. And also well, I don't mind Gomez in the midfield. Pereira, we'll see, because Derby are not going to be not going to be mugs. It'll be interesting to see Wayne Rooney coming back. It would be very, very interesting to see. Anyway, final score of Anthony Martial anyway is probably a 6.5. Not his worst game, but not his best game by any stretch of the imagination. So that's everything, guys. That is mostly brief post-match reaction. Let me know what you think about it, whether you feel that we were hard done by this result. I think ultimately it was fair. I should have obviously just finished up with the VAR decision. I don't know what people think about that, but personally for me, my at the end of the day, I just think that he was interfering with play. It's as simple as that. He was interfering with play, and that's basically what cost Everton the 3 points there. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. I will hopefully be getting out more videos, more transfer news, United news, and I probably will hopefully be covering the Derby game as well midweek. But let me know what you think. Please give me as much feedback as possible to make this channel better and go from strength to strength. Have a nice day, guys, and cheers.